Let's start laying down on the mat. Okay, settling into the mat. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. Noticing the muscles in our faces soften, the body melt into the earth. And allowing the body to assume its natural rhythm of breath in and out through the nose. And a natural curvature of the spine. Noticing the contact our bodies make on the earth below. The back of the head, the shoulder blades, the hips, back of the legs, and heels. Noticing the mood or the energy of the body. And noticing the rhythm of breath, the pauses, the speed, the depth. Not changing it, but just being aware of it. Perhaps setting an intention for today's practice. Breathing in curiosity and gratitude. And letting go of judgment, expectation, or competition. Drawing our feet in, legs at 90 degrees, planting our feet about hip width. Little micro adjustments as needed. And we'll give our left knee a gentle hug into the chest. Checking in with the hip, the knee, maybe wiggling our ankle and our foot around. Keeping our shoulder blades connected to the mat. And checking in with our jaw, making sure we're not transferring any tension to our faces and our necks throughout our practice. Releasing our left foot back to the mat, and we'll gently transition to the right side, hugging the right knee into the chest. Yeah, and checking in with the hip. Perhaps we have different sensations on this side of the body. Just being aware of them. And releasing the right foot back to the earth. Once again, we'll draw the left knee in. And we'll wrap our hands around the back of the leg, interlacing the fingers, flexing the foot, and we'll drive the heel up to the sky with the exhalation. And on the inhalation, we draw the heel back towards our glute. Exhaling, extending the leg as straight as we can. Inhale, we release. Exhaling, extending the leg, trying to keep the knee close to the chest. Inhale, release. Noticing the pauses at the top and the bottom. Moving to the rhythm of our breath as we elongate the breath. And we release, left foot back to the earth. And we'll gently hug the right knee in, threading our fingers behind the leg. Deep breaths in as we flex the foot and exhale out. Extending the heel to the sky. Using our breath as a guide to not push too far too fast. Slowly trying to work a little bit of length into the back of the right leg. Three more. Finishing this one, and we release back to the earth. Drawing the left knee in, crossing it over the right thigh, and threading the needle, hugging into a figure four. Option to bring the hands on top of the shin or behind the leg. Rocking, pulsing, or finding stillness, whatever feels good for the body. Bringing the right foot to the earth. And we'll cross over. Figure four, gentle rotation to the left. Either staying in a figure four or eagling the legs, whatever feels best. Noticing the sensations in the lower back, likely on the right side, being gentle. Breathing into any areas of discomfort. Gentle expression on our faces. And we exhale. Inhaling, bringing our knees back to center. Untwisting. And we'll cross the right leg over the left thigh, readjusting as needed. And we'll thread needle, bringing our hands on top of the shin or behind the thigh, rocking, pulsing, or finding stillness. Checking in with all the sensations in the back of the right glute, down the IT band, into the knee. And bringing the left foot back to the earth, we can figure 4 over to the right, or we can eagle the legs if we feel that that's accessible for us today. Checking in with the lower back on the left side, making sure our hips and our shoulder blades are still connected to the earth. Gentle expression on our faces, not shifting tension there. And a calm, steady rhythm of breath. One more big breath here. And we stack our knees back up, untwist, and give ourselves a big hug with both knees tucked in, lifting the head, getting a little neural flossing on the neck, tucking ourselves into a tight little ball. Wiggling the feet, pointing, flexing, rolling. And then we'll bring our head and shoulders back to the earth, extending the arms long and the legs long. Arching the lower back, deep breaths in through the chest, into the abdomen, into the back. And we release the lower back to its natural curvature, bringing our arms back alongside our bodies and our legs back to 90 feet, our hip width apart. We'll float through some hip bridges. Inhaling, lifting the hips up, tucking our chin to chest. Exhale, we lower the hips and we allow the arms to float above our head. Inhale, we bring our arms back alongside the body, lifting our hips. Exhale, we float the arms up and the hips down. Repeating it at the speed of our breath. Option to add box breathing in, pausing at the bottom or top. Three more. Finishing up, and then giving ourselves another hug. Bringing knees in, shifting our weight left to right. Gentle massage of the spine and the lower back. And coming back to stillness, we're going to grab onto our big toes with our peace fingers or the inside of our feet, whichever feels more steady and durable. Opening into happy baby, and we have an option to extend one leg at a time, drawing the opposite heel in. Option to find a dynamic flow, shifting left to right, or focusing on one side at a time. Keeping our hips and our shoulder blades firmly connected. Breathing space and length into the inner thighs. Gentle expressions on our faces, noticing that we're not shifting any stress there. Option, of course, is to keep both legs extended if that's accessible. Listening to our body and what it needs. We'll do 1 or 2 more on each side. Few more breaths here. Starting to build that length, space in the inner thighs. Extending through the heels. And when we finish, we can bring the bases of our feet back together, wrapping our hands around the back side of our feet and pressing the knees away while we draw the heels into our center towards the earth. Shoulder blades and head are connected to the mat. And we release. Extending the legs long on the mat, the arms long above our head, arching the lower back. Deep breaths in through the abdomen to the base of the spine. And releasing the lower back to its natural curvature. Bring the arms back alongside the body. We have an option to come into a plow pose, bringing our toes above our heads. We may want to scooch down a little bit on our mat, making sure we have space above our heads. And drawing the knees back into the chest. We can extend the legs over our hips, driving the heels up. And when and if we're ready, we can tuck the knees into our chest, gaining a little bit of momentum, grabbing our hips or our lower back with our hands, and finding our feet floating above our heads, walking ourselves onto the shoulders, the back of the head. No expectation as to where the feet will lie or connect to the floor or float. Noticing the chin tucked into the chest, supporting our lower back as desired. Feeling the energy and the heat starting to generate from the neck, the base of the head, all the way up the spine, down the legs, into our heels. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Being aware of the sensations. The tension we're releasing from the spine. Staying here for a few more breaths or coming out of it whenever we're ready. When we're ready to come out of it, we come out of it slowly and controlled, one vertebra at a time. to slowly come out. And once again, allowing the lower back to assume its natural curvature as we extend the legs long. Settling back into our mat. Taking a few big breaths here to allow the lower back to reset. Noticing what might be happening in the abdomen. Any messages that the gut is sending to our brain or the brain to our gut. Just being aware of them. Beautiful. Drawing our feet back, hip width apart, knees are at 90, and we're going to roll over to the left, pushing ourselves up and into all fours. Grabbing a sip of water in between if that suits. Hands come under our shoulders, knees under the hips, and we'll just shift left to right. Allowing our head to sway with the momentum. The feet are flat behind us. Adding a little lateral flexion. Noticing what's happening in the side body. How are we holding tension? Noticing the heaviness of our head, the length of our neck. One more big breath here. And then we'll come back to center. Traditional, conventional cat-cow. Pressing the earth away, lifting our chest on the inhale. And on the exhale, we round the spine, starting with the tailbone, shoulders, and head, looking back to our feet. Inhale, pressing the earth away, tailbone starts to sink. Opening our abdomen and chest. Exhale, rounding. Finding a flow that suits our breath. Noticing the pauses. Moving with purpose and intention. Noticing all the yummy sensations along the way. Three more. Lifting our heart center, lifting our gaze. Exhale, curling back in. Two more. Reset to neutral. Extending our left leg, toes are driving into the mat. Foot is flexed, right arm comes alongside our ear. Spinal balance, option to hold here, option to lift the left leg off the earth. Parallel to the floor, toes continue to drive towards the earth. Hips are square to the mat. Holding here. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. And we're gazing down, eyes open or closed. And we'll open up the leg on a diagonal, the arm on a diagonal. It's feeling that energy in the left glute. And we come back to center. Good. Bring our left foot to the earth. And we reset. Rounding into it. And back to neutral. Lovely. Right leg extends long, flexing the foot, toes drive into the earth. Left arm comes alongside the head and the ear. Option to hold here, option to lift the right leg, keeping the hips square to the mat. Toes are driving down. Not letting our right hip float up to the sky. Gentle expression on our faces. Then we open up the right leg a bit and the left arm. Gentle diagonal stretch. Noticing any pattern that's running through the left fingertips, arm across the back and down the right leg. Good. Coming back to center and we reset. Left leg, left arm, right leg. And we'll round into it. Pushing into the shoulder blades, rounding the spine, tucking our chins to our chest. Beautiful. Resetting. We'll step up into a down dog. So deep breaths in, curling our toes under our shins. Exhaling, lifting our hips, pressing the heels towards the earth. And on the next inhale, we'll crunch in. Lifting the heels, tucking the knees in. Exhale. We extend back, straightening the legs, heels drive toward the floor. Inhale, we crunch in to our maximum. Exhale, we extend back. No competition. We do what feels good for our body. One more. Inhale, we crunch. Exhale, we extend. Letting our heads hang heavy. And then we'll float through, adding a plank. Inhale to plank. Exhale, we crunch. Inhale, rocking through and up into our down dog. Finding a flow that suits us. Extended child's pose, down dog, floating through, finding fluidity. Breathing in and out through the nose as possible. Using the breath to calm us from the inside out. Feeling the toes start to warm up and activate. One more. Finding that fluidity. Taking a deep breath in between, and then we'll do the opposite direction. Crunching, extended child's pose, plank, down dog, up on the toes, and then heels press to the earth. finding our fluid movement, warming the entire back body, warming our arms, our hands, the toes. Whatever fluid motion feels good for the body. No expectation of how this should look, or just go with how it feels. Two more big breaths. And we all end up in down dog. Pedal it out, wiggle one of the feet, lifting, pointing, flexing. Good, bringing the feet about hip width apart, shifting the weight left to right. Good, holding our down dog. With our left arm, we're going to lift it across the body, reaching for the right leg wherever it makes contact. Strength through the right arm. Noticing the sensations down the right side of the leg. Three, 2, and 1. Releasing the left arm to the earth, we reset. And when we're ready and stable, we can reach the right hand across the body, grabbing onto the left leg. Noticing the sensations across our back, maybe up in the shoulder area. And down the left leg. Calm, steady rhythm of breath guiding us in our intensity. Not pushing too far, too fast. For 3, for 2. Now we reset. Good. Shifting, pedaling, whatever feels good, crunching the toes, pressing the heels back, bouncing, whatever feels yummy. And we'll come down into a child's pose. Walking the hands out, flattening the feet, sinking the hips back towards the heels. We can shift our hips left to right, or just find stillness. Coming off of our wrists, giving them a little wiggle. Grabbing a sip of water, if we desire. And on the next inhale, we'll draw ourselves back up into all fours. We'll walk our hands out into puppy pose, keeping our hips stacked on top of our knees. We're going to arch our lower back, gazing forward. Chin or forehead to the earth, feeling and opening across the upper back, down the spine. An option here to thread the right arm under the left, threading the needle, coming onto the right shoulder and arm, feeling and opening down the left arm into the fingers. As accessible, we can continue to gaze forward or to the left, keeping our hips above our knees.
3 more breaths. And gently we draw the right arm back underneath us. Back to our puppy pose with our chin or our forehead on the mat. And then option to thread the left arm under the right, gazing forward or to the right. Noticing what happens in the right arm and upper back. Big breaths in to nurture and massage the tissues of our right wing. Taking care of our alas to help us continue flying and soaring high. Noticing the energy running down the right arm. And using our breath as a guide to not push too far, too fast. If it becomes labored, we come out of it. Three more breaths. And when we finish our last breath, inhaling, drawing our left arm out and under, back to our puppy pose, noticing the opening across the shoulder blades. Inhaling, we're going to float our torso up towards our hands, allowing our hips to come to the earth. Right arm under left, crossing the arms, walking them out as wide as we can underneath our chest. Elongating the neck and allowing the chin to tuck over the arms. Noticing the lower back settle in and an opening of the neck. Noticing any energy in the upper arms. Perhaps we rotate the hands up and down to see how that might change the sensations. Good. On the next inhale, we'll uncross our arms, walking the right arm over the left, gently coming out of that. Walking the hands as wide as we can, extending the neck, drawing the chin over top. Noticing the different sensations on this side. Noting any distractions. Letting thoughts go through our minds like clouds in the sky. And bringing our awareness back to the breath and the physical sensations. Three more breaths. And we'll gently uncross our arms, bringing our chin to the mat. And our arms can come to the side of our ribs. Taking a deep breath in. And sighing it out. Inhaling, we lift our chest off the earth, baby cobra. Drawing the shoulder blades in and back, lifting the chest. Noticing an engagement of the back muscles. And we release our chin back to the earth, taking a deep breath in between. Sighing it out. And this time we'll come into a cobra, so pressing upwards, pressing our hands into the earth, gently drawing the abdomen off the earth. Seeing if we can let go of tension in our lower back. Drawing the elbows into our sides, shoulder blades are drawn in and back. Lifting our heart, lifting our gaze. And we lower back down. Deep breath in between. This time into an upward facing dog, if accessible. Peeling the chest, the abdomen, and the thigh muscles off the earth. Straightening the arms, drawing the elbows in. Lifting our hearts, lifting our gazes. Pressing our feet into the earth. Now we come out of that, bringing the thighs down, the hips, the abdomen, and the chest. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Interlacing our hands behind our back. Pressing our feet into the earth, and we'll lift our chest off the earth. Driving the knuckles towards our feet, lifting the arms as possible. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Feeling an opening across the chest, down the arms. And we release. Bringing our chin to the earth. Our arms are lying flat alongside our bodies. And we'll gaze over to the left, bringing our left ear to the sky, right ear to the mat. A few breaths at each side. Noticing what's happening in the upper back and neck. Perhaps a tightness going up into the skull. Bringing our awareness there. And we'll shift our head over to the opposite side. Left ear comes to the mat. Right ear facing the sky. One more breath. And we bring our chin back to center. Bringing our hands back alongside our ribs. And we'll press ourselves up into kneeling pose, gently coming through a kneeling plank. And shifting our hips back, curling our toes under the shins. Grabbing a sip of water along the way, if desired. Making sure our pinky toes are also cooperating. Good. Noticing the sensations firing from the toes. All 5 of them pressing into the earth, opening up the balls of our feet. Let's just do some shoulder rolls up and back. And shifting directions, drawing the shoulder blades back, and then forwards up with the shoulders. Into the ears, into the neck, moving around the cobwebs, breaking up any tension we might still hold. Good. And we release out of that. Swinging our arms, palms facing forward. Inhale, drawing the arms back and around. Rotating, inhaling, drawing the palms back and around. Inhale, rotate open. Exhale, rounding forward. Rotating, inhale. Exhale forward. 3 more. Drawing the shoulder blades in and back. Lifting the chest. 1 more. Good. Keeping the palms facing back. And we'll inhale forward. Exhale, wrapping the arms around. As big or as little the movements as feels accessible for our chest and back. 1 more. Coming out of that, we can tap out our feet, coming into all fours. Good. That surely feels good. And let's come back down, kneeling without our toes closed, because we were in that for quite some time this time. And we'll swing our arms, swimming them, opposite. So left and then right. Gentle twist of the trunk. Whatever speed, whatever range of motion feels good. Opening the chest, reaching back. Gentle rotation on the spine. Maybe we look back. Maybe we follow our hands with our gaze. Maybe our eyes are closed. Swimming, feeling the energy in the neck and the spine. Using our abdomen to keep us stable and to draw us back forward. Three, 2, and 1. Back to center, and we'll draw the arms back, swimming back, opening our chest, following our hand with our gaze, eyes open or closed. Gentle twist of the spine, releasing synovial fluid, lubricating the spine. Beautiful. Warming, opening, melting away tension and emotion that doesn't serve us. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Resetting, rolling the shoulders up and back, interlacing the hands behind our back. Drawing the shoulder blades in and down, lifting the hands, the arms as high as we can. And with our arms still in this position, we'll slowly lower our forehead to the earth, coming into a child's pose with our hands behind our back. Option to open the knees if we need a little space for our chest and our torso. Maybe we shift left to right, opening our chest, shifting the arms, noticing what happens in the chest and down the arms. Or we find stillness, releasing our arms to the earth whenever we feel ready. Bringing our knees back underneath us if they were open wide. Curling in, maybe reaching back for our heels. And rounding into the spine. pressing into the spine with deep breaths to nurture all the tissue, the muscles, ligaments, tendons that run along the spine. Option to lift the hips up, if that feels good. Holding onto our feet. Checking in with our bodies, what feels good for us. Now we release our hands back to the earth, either alongside our head or alongside our body. Taking a moment to reflect on any intention we may have set at the beginning of our practice. Perhaps we reinforce that intention for the days ahead, or we create a new intention with freshness, a new light, new inspiration. Slowly pressing ourselves back up, rounding through our spine, chin to chest. And then we lift our shoulders and head. Finding our way back to kneeling pose, hands to heart center. Pressing the palms together, shoulders are down and back. Gentle expressions on our faces. We think of 3 things that we are grateful for. With smiles on our faces, we give thanks for the opportunity to practice, to reunite and reconnect with our community, and to move our bodies, feeling the sensations that we create, the energy that's flowing, to feel alive and fresh. With smiles on our faces, we give thanks for this opportunity. I wish you a beautiful continuation of your day. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.